Welcome to the weekend, folks. I'm Adam Helfman, and today is the perfect day to hire it done. That's right, folks. My name's Adam Helfman. I'm a home improvement expert, fourth generation contractor. Been around a long time, and I'm here to teach you how to hire it done. Hassle-free home improvement, folks. And that's right, it's the weekend, so it's a great time to get that list ready, go around your house, figure out what you have to get done, think about what you want to do yourself, which is not much anymore. And when it's time to find the right guy, you just got to visit hireitdone.com. That's how simple it is. So you might be tuning into the show for the first time. Let me give you a little history, okay? I'm a home improvement expert. Not self-declared, although, you got to start somewhere. But no, I'm definitely a home improvement expert. I created Hire It Done many years ago to help homeowners find contractors without getting burned. It's pretty simple. And if you're tuning in for the first time, this is the home improvement radio show that teaches you, the homeowner, how to fix, repair, or remodel everything within the four corners of your lot. You see, I'm not a do-it-yourself show. However, I'm not anti-do-it-yourself. It's not like I want you to figure out how to stop your washing machine from doing the tango across the floor. I'm going to give you the questions they asked the washing machine repairman. I'm not going to teach you how to do your own roof. I'm going to teach you the questions to ask a roofer, and I'm also going to give you the questions he doesn't want you to ask. You see, the society today has changed, okay? We have what we'll call a new tool in your toolbox. It used to be the tool in your toolbox was your checkbook. That was your best tool in your toolbox. And I used to agree with that wholeheartedly. But today, the new tool in your toolbox is time. Time is the new currency, folks. Okay? And you need to understand something. Time is very valuable. Most people don't have a lot of time. So I want to give you that time back. So when the contractor's power washing your deck or repairing your soffits or putting on new gutters or putting in a skylight or designing and installing an award-winning kitchen, I want you to understand that that's how you can hire it done. And I've learned this because I'm a fourth-generation contractor. My great-grandfather started our family business in 1926. So it's important that you know this, so I grew up in that business. And as I was a project manager for our family's renovation firm, I used to struggle with the fact that the homeowners had a different expectation than what we sold them, what the project manager did, and I was constantly working on tweaking expectations. And I quickly learned that the nucleus of successful renovation is communication. And this is what the show does. It teaches you how to communicate with your contractor, and it teaches the contractors to understand that the homeowners are expecting to be communicated with as well. And so, listen, your car has an odometer. It tells you when to add air to your tires now. It tells you when to change your oil. It starts beeping. When things go on, there's a light. Check engine light. Does your house have a light? There's no light in your house except the ones that light it up. But that's what I'm saying. Let Hire It Done be your odometer, folks. You see, from the neck down, I'm worth minimum wage. So if you ever see me on a job site with a tool belt, you better call 911. But if you want advice, if you want to know how to plan your project with success, if you want to learn how to hire the right contractor or fire your contractor, listen to me, because from the chin up, folks, 7 figures. Okay? That's 6 zeros with a number in front of it for all my friends. Right? That's how we roll. So that's what the show's about. And, of course, we want to talk about trends. We want to talk about everything that helps to do with home improvement. Like we have tax days coming up, right? So what are you going to do? You getting a refund? What are you going to buy with that? That's what I'm going to give you today, because we're going to talk about that. Have you ever heard of FOMO? F-O-M-O? Guess what? I'm going to tell you what that means later today as well. So think about it. Pretend you're in a coffee shop. Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Tim Hortons. I'm torn between Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, but whatever you want to be. You could have your own personal coffee shop. And there's a big table that we're sitting at. And you are invited right now to join me in our conversation. Grab some coffee. Grab a donut. Maybe a sausage and egg and cheese sandwich. Extra crispy and crunchy. Double toasted. Right? And join my conversation because we're going to teach you the questions to ask contractors. We're going to teach you the questions they don't want you to ask. Think about that for a second. We're going to teach you how to set up your project for success. And we're going to include trends. I'm going to tell you what to spend your money on, what remodeling projects pay off the most. You see, that's important, folks. And, of course, if you are getting money back, guess what? I'm going to teach you where to spend that in. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. This is the Hire It Done Radio Network. My name's Adam Helfman. It's tax day coming up soon. And listen, getting a tax refund is always like found money, right? It's an exciting thing, even though you really earned that money. You like prepaid it or whatever you want to call it. I got to be honest with you. It's just a good feeling when you got it. So if you're thinking of getting a tax refund, if you think you're getting a tax refund and you know kind of how much you're going to get, why not? Why not ask or why not figure out how to spend it on your house, right? Because that's what I want to do. I want you to do that. So let's start with remodeling projects, small to large, that pay off, right? That'll boost your resale value. And we'll start with the low dollars. If you get a couple $100 back, you know, do you want to go get a steak instead of a Big Mac? I had that on my mind. Or do you want to spend it around your house? So here's a couple ideas for if you got a few $100, you know, like $100 or $200. How about replacing cabinet hardware? Sometimes one of the most inexpensive ways to update and dress up a look in a kitchen is to put new hardware on. Changing knobs, handles is pretty simple. But it gives your room a whole new look. So you got to check that out. How about sealing your driveway? Yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, it's not sexy, but it makes your driveway last that much longer, okay? You'll reduce unsightly cracks, slow deterioration of the concrete or the asphalt. But again, it's part of the responsibility of home ownership, what you got to do. Get a couple $100. Upgrade your heating and cooling units, meaning service them and then maybe upgrade the filters. Regular cleaning of your furnace and your air conditioner can add, listen to this, over up to 10 years in your life of your system. Think about that. A lot of people I always ask, I'm like, when's the last time you changed your filter in your furnace? Oh, I don't know. Like they turn their head, they're like, oh, I don't know. You got to be careful. So just want you to know. Here's some home improvements that if you're getting a tax refund for $500 that you could do, okay? How about a tile backsplash? Yeah, I know some people say, you can't get a tile backsplash for $500. Yeah, you can if you do it right. Backsplashes provide an instant transformation at a fraction of what a full kitchen remodel costs. And that's the truth. Think about that. How about interior paint? This is, you know, a couple walls, a room. You want to refresh a room? Paint the walls, okay? It could brighten your house. Think about that. How about insulating your attic? Now, insulating your attic isn't sexy, but let me tell you something. It pays for itself really fast, okay? Energy efficiency and lower utility bills is a nice plus. Plus, if you have the extra money, think about it. In the wintertime, you're like, oh, my God, I'm so cold. This room is so cold. There's reasons why. You have heat loss. You want to stop the heat from leaving your house, okay? And actually, it saves you money, too, so it's almost like a big payback. Now we're getting up there. If you have $1,000 in a return or a refund, this is exciting, folks. Maybe change your front door. Curb appeal is important. When you pull up to your house, you want to feel good, right? Fiberglass doors are maintenance-free. And they don't swell, they don't contract, they don't get too hot. They're actually the perfect product for a front door. Now, if you're one of those fancy people who want all that mahogany and Amazon rainforest wood and this and that. Go have at it. But 3 to 5 years later, when it's peeling, cracking, warping, chipping, you'd be like, oh man, I spent all this money on this door and look at it. It's a maintenance nightmare, those big, thick, heavy doors. How about inefficient appliances? So if you're getting a refund, tax refund, and you got like $1,000, why not get a new water heater? Maybe a new toilet. Maybe a refrigerator or a dishwasher. Think about it. An energy efficient appliance can save you money, can save you energy, and has the added value, what I call enjoyment value. You can enjoy it. I always know, listen, I want a new toilet. I enjoy a new toilet, especially with a heated seat. Let's not yet. We'll get started on toilets, right, Roberto?
Yeah, Adam's in the toilet leasing program.
Right? I heard Mercedes-Benz just came out with a car leasing program. Use a monthly thing. You can swap cars all you want. Yeah. I want the toilet leasing program. Maybe Toto or Kohler.
Every 12 months.
12 months every month. Toilet of the Month Club. You know those boxes you get? I have the T-shirt of the Month Club. I think Toilet of the Month Club. That could be really good. Except what do you do with the used ones? You don't. You donate them.
Yeah, well, just like lease cars. They can sell them at a discount.
Sell them at a, please clean this up before you send it back. Oh, I love that. You know what, Roberto? You're on to something. Roberto is our Facebook Live producer. He helps me with content. He's a hired done aficionado. Here's another one if you're getting money back. Tile your basement or your bathroom floor, okay? Heavy foot traffic is always making things dingy. But, you know, how about opt for the bright, easy-to-clean tile? Now, if you have decent tile, but it's dirty in the grout, how about steam cleaning your grout? Do you ever have that? There's some companies out there that steam the grout with a high-pressure steam, 1,200 PSI. The temperature's super hot. Not only will it clean it, but it'll kill all bacteria, mold. It's a pretty cool situation. Now, how about this one? Installing new kitchen countertops. If you're getting what I call a nice return, a nice refund for your taxes, kitchen countertops are good. You know, that's if you're getting like $3,000 or more. Granite, quartz. Think about that, folks. Today, everyone loves granite, and now quartz is neck and neck with granite, quartz, right? And you can't go wrong with either. If it were me, I prefer quartz right now because I think the consistency and it's really cool. There's like a cool factor for that. So you might want to consider new countertops. Here's another one. How about your garage door? You won't believe what I did. I'm going to admit this on live radio, folks. I actually backed out of my garage about a week ago and forgot to open the darn door. It's the worst thing is because your car's in the garage. And when I got in the car, put it in reverse, and then all of a sudden, bam! I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, holy moly. Now, thank God, right? Thank God no one was hurt. I ruined the bottom panel, broke the rail, and I called my guy. I got a guy, right? Went to hire it done. Looked up my garage door guy, called him. I'm like, listen, I got an emergency. He's like, what's up? I go, I just backed out of the garage, and guess what? He goes, oh, ha, ha, you were inside? I'm like, yeah. He goes, man. He goes, I'm finishing up a job. I'll be there in an hour. So I had to call my appointment. I was late. He came. He opened the garage I could pull out, and I'm like, listen, just go get me the new panel, whatever it costs, right? So I got lucky because it all, like, the stars lined up. But you know how that goes. We get one of those deals, you back it up, and boom, right? But here's a good thing. A new garage door, it recoups 98% of your cost and improved value of your house. So, like I spent for one panel $700, okay? $700 plus the spring and all that and the tune-up, and he did all that for me. It was a deal. I got it. But your house is immediately worth $690. That's what's so cool about it, right? And here's one more, folks, if you're getting money back. This is if you're getting a couple grand back. Enhance your landscaping, okay? Stone pavers, a fire pit, exterior lighting boost. Those all boost curb appeal and functionality. So think hard and long. You know, if you're getting money back from the Uncle Sam tax guy, you might as well spend it on your house. Or you can pay off some bills too. Luckily for me, my bills are too expensive to pay off. So I'm just going to, I don't even know if I'm getting any money back. My accountant's still working on mine. It's all discombobulated. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. Guess what, folks? FOMO, you know what FOMO is? I'm going to tell you about FOMO when we come back. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. This is The Weekend. My name's Adam Helfman. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. So, let me ask you a question. Do you suffer from FOMO? What is FOMO? Well, fear of missing out. I think Facebook has created the FOMO and the FOMO phenomenon. And this really applies to millennials, right? See, millennials are landing better jobs, higher salaries. They're getting married, having kids. And they're tired of living in their parents' basements. Think about that. But here's another reason why millennials are itching to buy a house. And this is interesting. And I think it's darn true, right? They see photos of homes on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, HGTV, YouTube, wherever they're streaming or whatever they're watching. And they're thinking about this. What about me? What about me? Hey, he's got a great new toilet, subway tile. You know, millennials are my favorite. Let me tell you why. Hire It Done exists for the people who can't do it themselves or don't want to. I created it in 2005. I was a little bit ahead of myself because in 2005 they said to me, no one's going to listen to your show, Adam. The world's addicted to do it yourself. Everyone wants to do it themselves. And I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? Who are you fooling? I can't do anything myself. I'm going to hire that done. And then the light bulb went on. Bing, hire it done. Well, here we are. It's 2018. And the fear of missing out has been and become one of the most forces spurring many millennials to finally buy a home. Bank of America came up with this survey. And this article is out of USA Today. So here's the thing. It motivates millennials to think about home ownership. And if you think about that, it makes perfect sense. I scroll through Instagram. I look for the food pics and the workout pictures. But I also like the home improvement stuff because that's my passion, right? It's my expertise. Here's the thing. Social media has an influence on everybody, right? Mostly first-time home buyers because they want to go on to this place and that place, and they want to check out stuff. But it has, in particular, a hold on millennials, and here's why. By the way, millennials, let's define them. Those born in the early 80s and the early all the way through the, no, wait a minute. It says, or those born, okay, yeah, it has a particular hold on millennials, or those born between the early 80s and the early 2000s. But millennials make up 65% of all home buyers today, folks. That's a big chunk, okay? And that statistic comes from the National Association of Realtors, NAR. So here's the thing. When you ask millennials how they feel when they see pictures of home purchased by other people on social media, here's what they say. A third of them think, if they can buy it, why can't I? Right? It's almost like peer pressure. Everyone's doing it. Why don't you do it? Buy a house. I'm feeling the pressure talking about it right now. A quarter of the millennials feel like they're missing out, right? And then another quarter of those mutter to themselves, it's time for me to get out of my parents' basement. I better go buy something. So that's the thing. Millennials are the type of people that want it now. Google has destroyed a lot of things. One of them that Google destroyed is the home improvement business. If you don't think so, folks, let me explain to you why as we talk about the fear of missing out. When you go to Google and you type in award-winning kitchens, you wait like a millisecond, and next thing you know, bam, kitchen pictures come up, contractors come up, everything comes up instantly. When you Google contractors that are licensed and insured, a ton of them come up, right? But when you hire a contractor to do your kitchen, you can't really remodel a kitchen from an app, first of all. Although they're working on it, I'm just not there yet. But a kitchen remodeling project for all my millennials and everyone out there listening, especially my contractors, a kitchen takes 12 weeks from start to finish on average. Google is the oxymoron of a 12-week kitchen because it's instant. That's the problem. The modern contractor needs to adjust and adapt. Okay, folks? The modern contractor needs to adjust and adapt to millennials. They need to say to them, hey, guys, thanks for reaching out to me. How'd you find me? The internet. Of course, right? So now what? You got to explain to these millennials, okay, let me explain to you how a project works, Mr. and Mrs. Millennial, or millennial partners, or millennial whatevers. When you and I meet, we're going to talk about your project. We're going to discuss your wants and needs, how much you cook, how much you entertain, so we can design a kitchen that's functional. You see, folks, today, dining rooms are out. In fact, go to your house right now and take a look at your dining room, if you have one. Is it full of all your kids' toys? Is it full of bills? Is there old papers? Are you using it to store things? Because that's what most people are doing. And if you don't have if you have a dining room and you don't use it much, how much do you use your dining room? Let's see. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Passover, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur.
All of them.
All of them, right? Oy. So here's the point. You don't use it enough. Break the wall out between the kitchen and the dining room. Make it an expanded kitchen. That's what people want. Make it functional. Houses are getting smaller but smarter. Smaller but smarter. That was pretty cool. So that's the truth. So the contractor today needs to explain to the millennial this takes time. And then when they say, okay, let's go, order everything, you got to order the cabinets. They're not sitting on a shelf somewhere unless you go super cheap. And then you can't order the tops till the cabinets are installed, but you have to do demo. You have to do electrical, you got to do plumbing, you got to do heating, right? Then you got to do insulation, you got to do drywall. Then you install the cabinets. Everything takes time. Then you got to pull permits and you got to have inspections. This is where the projects go. Millennials need to understand that nothing goes perfect, and then the right contractor is the one that's solution-minded, okay? I want you to be solution-minded, Mr. Contractor who's listening to this show, because you're going to be successful with millennials or any customer. And letting them know, here's one of the things I tell people. Is it frustrating for you when the contractor doesn't show up for 2 or 3 days? Yeah. Well, if the contractor calls you and said, hey, Mrs. Jones, it's Mr. Contractor. Oh, good morning. How are you? Hey, some things came up, and with our scheduling, we have a couple of issues. There's nobody going to be at your house for the next 3 days. Now, think about that for a second. Do you want to scold that contractor for telling you that, or do you want to praise him? Let me explain to you the importance of what he just said to you. The fact that he communicated with you that no one will be there is a very good thing. Yeah, on the surface, you're like, oh, man, no one's going to be here. I want everyone every day. But would you rather have the contractor not call you? And then after the second day, no one's there? You got anxiety, butterflies. Your mind starts wandering. Oh, my God, I got ripped off. He ran off with my money. There's no one coming back. They took off. Oh, no. Guess what? No. I'd rather have him tell me no one's coming for the next 2 or 3 days as opposed to not knowing anything. That contractor gets a high five. Okay? It's important. I want you to understand how important that is. So now we need to know something, folks. Communication is the key to that. And that's why it's important that you communicate to the millennials and say to them, hey, the job doesn't happen overnight. Things happen in linear fashion. So you need to build up the expectation in the beginning so these millennials know. And then as you do the project, you need to hold their hand. Hey, guys, this is why I recommended Hire It Done. We call the weekly walkthrough or the bi-weekly walkthrough, depending on the size of your job. What is the bi-weekly walkthrough? It's real simple. And as a homeowner, if you're thinking of hiring a contractor to do a room addition, a kitchen, a bath, and a basement, whatever a longer period of time project, meaning at least a month, like a roof is a day job, right? Plumbing, small and quick. But here's the thing, the bi-weekly walkthrough. Demand this. And you say to the contractor, okay, Mr. Contractor, according to Hire It Done, a project like this qualifies for the bi-weekly walkthrough. We want to implement that in this project. He'll be like, oh, what's that? The biweekly walkthrough is where you meet on the job site every other week with the contractor for a pre-established amount of time. And what you do is you discuss at that meeting what happened last week, what's going on this week, and what the plan is for next week. So you have a 3-week look ahead or outlook. And then in a week and a half from now, or 2 weeks, the bye-week from there, guess what? You do the same thing. It keeps you and your contractor on track, folks. How about that? That's right. That's what I'm talking about. Coming up next, the mailbag. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. We'll be right back, folks. Welcome back, folks. This is the Hire It Done Radio Network. My name's Adam Helfman. You know, if you need a contractor, just visit hireitdone.com, and we invite you to check us out on Facebook. We have a very, very active Facebook page. In fact, the show is Facebook Live right now, so you can actually watch us in studio, see our antics, and have some fun. It's always entertaining here at Hire It Done. But you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on YouTube. We have some great videos. If you really want to dig deep and get into the Hire It Done education part of things, where we teach you contractor hiring tips, how to get a great job, how to save money, how to get a roof that doesn't leak, whatever it is, we've got it on hireitdone.com, our website. Plus, the YouTube channel has videos that we created, and it's darn good stuff. And of course, if you want to ask a question and you need home improvement advice, we're also here to help you, the listener. So you just go to hireitdone.com, click on Ask Adam, info@hireitdone.com or adam@hireitdone.com. We have whatever you need. And that's why we're here. We're a resource. In fact, we're one of the best resources in the home improvement business for homeowners. If you're thinking of remodeling, folks, please check it out. The information speaks for itself. And just ask the thousands of contractors that participate with Hire It Done. You'll know. They love us. So here's some mailbag questions that we've received recently. We want to help people because this applies to everybody. Hey, Adam, I want to open my kitchen to my dining room. How do I know if I can safely remove the wall? Well, as I talked about it earlier, dining rooms are out. Blow that wall out, folks, and open it to the kitchen. But if it's a load-bearing wall, you got a problem, Houston. So it's pretty solvable today. You know, typically there's like a U-shaped kitchen, and the wall that backs up to the dining room is where there's an oven and a couple of upper cabinets and lowers, right? That's the wall you want to pull out. Well, the oven is either gas line there or a 220 line, and if you have a 2-story house, you probably have heating and cooling going up to the second floor, or you might have a drain from a toilet, a shower, or a tub upstairs, and that drain water line may be coming down that wall as well. Those are the items you got to look for. Now, a good contractor will be able to look and tell you right out of the gates because he knows how the plumbing in your house works. You know, a lot of people say, oh, my soffit's above my cabinets. Guess what? They have soffits because they used to hide the plumbing lines, you know, the drains and things running across it. So you got to look out for all that. Now, like I said, a competent, experienced contractor is going to know. Now, it's really simple. LVL, right? Or laminated beam. Those are the products now that you can put in those ceilings to hold up the floor above if it's a load-bearing wall. Depending on the way the ceiling joists go, you can tell if it's load-bearing or not. An experienced contractor can tell you, right? This is something I don't want a homeowner to do themselves. Hire a contractor to knock the wall out, put the beam in, and then you can do the rest. That's the best way to do it. So the best way is, you know, because if you remove the wall and it is load bearing, then you got a problem. You know, is your house going to collapse? Probably not, but it's going to sag over time. And, you know, listen, you got a big cast iron tub above there. You fill it with water, and then you're 200 pounds and you sit in it. That's a lot of weight. You'd be surprised. That's like in the movie Money Pit. Remember? One of the best, by the way, if you love home improvement, folks, there's actually 3 movies, but there's 2 that reign supreme. Money Pit and The Tin Man. Roberto, have you ever watched either of those recently?
Money Pit is Tom Hanks' best movie ever.
It could be, right?
Of course.
And that contractor was not a hired done contractor. I just want you to know. But here's the other thing. So one of the best movies is Money Pit. Tin Men is the best if you're in sales. And then, of course, Glenn Ross is the third movie that if you really like home improvement sales and you like stuff like that, you would love it and go crazy. So I just want you to know that's really worth it.
And Money Pit when he's stuck in the floor, in the carpet.
You remember that? Oy, those are the best. Okay, here's another question. Hey, Adam, how hard is it to move a toilet from one side of the bathroom to another? Well, think about that, folks. You want to move a toilet. Oh, I want the toilet over here. I want the toilet over there. Well, like I said, I'm a toilet guy. And it's important that you have your toilet where you are comfortable. So remember this. The joists all run parallel, the floor joists. They run parallel together. So if you want to move your toilet around, you got to look for a couple things. One, will you be able to get the drain, the toilet to flush and the water out in the right area? Again, professional plumber is the way to go. But here's the thing. You got a water supply. You got to supply the water to the toilet, and then you got to have where the waste goes. So those are the two items that will clarify or produce what you need done. So that's something you got to understand. And by the way, I'm always interested, how many people read on the toilet or Facebook now? Are you a toilet Facebooker? Right? Everyone is. I have to. I spend a lot of time. Roberto, is that too much information?
No.
I didn't think
We need
so.
to know these things.
Right? I want everyone. Well, you got to learn about Adam Helfman, right? There's nothing like a Toto or a Kohler toilet done
So
right.
just know when you email Adam at adam@hireitdone.com, that's where he is when he's answering your questions.
Yeah, I should get a picture of me. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? So Kohler has these really cool toilets that have heated seats. I mean, it's awesome. And you want to, if you're shopping for a toilet, folks, a little side note, get a Comfort Height toilet. Comfort Height is a little bit higher. So when you're old like me, when you squat, it's not so bad. And don't even get me started when I say the word squat with the squatty potty. But anyways, I love that thing too. Here's one. Dear Adam, I have a small powder room project that I'm thinking of doing, and the contractor wants to pull permits, but I don't. Why do I need permits? Why do you need permits, folks? So your taxes go up? Bah, humbug. That's not the reason. Okay? You have to pull permits. It's the law, number one. The other thing is, though, the city inspectors come out and they make sure that the job is done to code. Code is a safety issue, right? You can't just have some guy, oh, it'll work. Just put some bubble gum here. I'll put some tape around this. Duct tape will get this to drain properly. No. There are certain codes. You can't cut joists in the middle third. Or the outside third. There's a lot of codes that you got to follow. And code and inspections make sure that the builder builds to at least the minimum code. And it's the law. Don't let a guy or a contractor say to you, don't pull permits, it's not necessary. I disagree with that. It's policy at Hire It Done. If you hire a Hire It Done contractor, you have to pull a permit. Otherwise, sorry, find someone else. I'm not going to allow that. No one wants to have that. Let's say putting a bedroom in a basement. Bedrooms and basements are good. It's space, but you must have a second form of egress. The staircase going up to the main floor, but you have to have another way out. The last thing you need to do is read on the news the house burns down and the people died in the basement because they couldn't get out. God forbid. God forbid. I don't want that headache. That's the other thing. Part of our 10-point pre-screening at Hire It Done is, they have to pull permits. They have to follow the law, the codes. You'd be surprised at how many contractors don't. I never, it ceased to amaze me. And if you're buying a house, folks, and you see, it says freshly remodeled, it would be in your best interest to call the city and say, all right, this guy's selling the house, and he says the house is newly remodeled. Can I call the city and find out if a permit's been pulled on that address in the last year? Newly remodeled should be within 12 months, right? Or is it within 2 years? What does newly remodeled say? To me, if they're going to say newly remodeled on a for a house for sale, it better be in the last 18 months. Let's say that. I can't begin to tell you how many people say, oh, there's no permit. And then you're like, wait a minute, you didn't pull a permit on the work? That's illegal. However, it's an advantage for the buyer because he can then say, hey, you didn't pull a permit. It's not inspected. I want to lower the price. That's a problem. So anyways, one last quick question, folks, as we wrap things up. Adam, should my roofer go in the attic when he's giving me an estimate? Here's my answer quickly. Heck yeah. Part of a successful roof and one that doesn't leak, I get people give me side eye when I say, hey, if you want a roof that doesn't leak, go to hireitdone.com. I want you to know something, folks. I simplify that statement, but I guarantee you, our contractors at hireitdone.com for roofing, best in the business. No one can beat with that. Anyways, the reason why you want to go in the attic is because part of a successful roof is ventilation. Intake, exhaust, insulation. Those three items you have to know from the attic. If he doesn't go in the attic, don't hire him. Period. That's right. Don't hire him if he doesn't go in the attic. I just want you to understand that. So our contractors all have a checklist they must do when they go in your attic. So that's how we roll here. Anyways, you're listening to the Hire It Done Network. We'll be right back. What you don't know can hurt you, folks. Welcome to the weekend. I'm Adam Helfman. Today's the perfect day to hire it done. That's what I think. Yeah, folks, this is the Home Improvement Radio show that teaches you, the homeowner, how to fix, repair, or remodel everything within the four corners of your lot. You see, it's not a do-it-yourself show. However, I'm not anti-do-it-yourself. I'm not like that guy who says, you don't do it yourself. The only way to do it is hire it done. No. I prefer to hire it done. I prefer to have someone do it for me. But I want you to know I'm not anti-do-it-yourself either. I'm pro do it for me. And the reason why is because there's a market for that. Not everyone can do things themselves. Yeah, you could power wash your own deck. You might be able to paint a few rooms. Go have at it. Make it fun. Enjoy it. Get that therapeutic effect. However, if you're like me, you're short of time, right? See, time is a new currency. Time costs money, right? That's what we don't have today, time. The most important tool in your toolbox today is time. It used to be your checkbook. And I love that. It used to be your checkbook. Your checkbook's still important. It's one of the best tools around because your checkbook speaks volumes. However, without any time, it doesn't work. So the new tool in your toolbox is time, folks. And I just want you to know that it's okay. And that's why hireitdone.com exists. If you want to hire a contractor, you got to remember, homeowners are afraid of two things when doing renovations. One, they're afraid of getting ripped off. Number two, they're afraid of overpaying. The fear of paying too much and the fear of giving your money to someone you've never met before or you've just recently met and then having them take off and never come back. That's a valid fear. But what we do at Hire It Done is we find contractors. We have a 10-point pre-screening. Just visit hireitdone.com. You'll see what we do. And we put you in front of contractors who compete for your business. Now, most homeowners get 3 bids, which is normal. We send you up to 4 contractors. You interview all 4 on the phone or 2 or 1, whatever it is. And you invite the ones that you want to your house to talk to you about your project. It's free service, so that's pretty simple, but we don't always have 4 contractors. It's hard to find 4 guys for every category. Roofing, siding, windows, kitchens, baths, concrete, landscaping, brick, paving, handyman, electrical, plumbing. See what I'm saying? Basement remodeling, framing, decking, insulation, heating, cooling, ventilation. Lots and lots of work. In fact, 70% of the contractors that we meet with at Hire It Done do not qualify for what we do. So you are, in essence, getting the best of the best. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. Not only do I want to put you in front of contractors, but I want you to learn what it takes to have a successful, or what we call at Hire It Done, a hassle-free home improvement. It's not easy. Let me tell you, it isn't easy. But with our resources, our website, our videos, our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel. Check them all out. It'll make your project easier. I guarantee it. And plus, folks, I'm a real person. I'm accessible. You can get a hold of me. You can talk to me. You can email me. You can get me involved in helping you with your project. No one else can do that. Yeah, there's plenty of other places to go. You got other services that are online, but they're digital. But there's nobody that has an online presence like I do. There's nobody that has a national radio show like I do. And there's nobody that has the experience of home improvement like I do. Think about that, folks. That's the trifecta. It's the perfect storm. And that's what I'm here to give you, that combination and that recipe, so that you can hire it done without having a headache. I don't want you to have any problems. No one wants you to have problems. Right? Just ask Leslie Pollock. Ask Doug Soroki or Mike Brown or Holly Thorrington. They all can tell you. And that's what we do here at Hire It Done. We put you in the position to have successful remodeling. Now, what is the best part of remodeling? It's hiring a contractor and having a great project and bragging about it. And I like to simplify things at Hire It Done. When I meet contractors and they're like, all right, we're ready to do this, and then they actually pass our pre-screening. And by the way, part of our pre-screening is that we actually see the work. No one else does that. That's what we call an industry benchmark, okay, or what we call best practice. No one else does what we do. But here's the best part. Once I have a contractor who qualifies and we're ready to engage in business for the contractor, and so for the homeowners out there don't know what this is, Hire It Done is free to the homeowner. The contractors pay me to be part of Hire It Done. It's not per job. They don't get a kickback or any of that. They pay me a monthly subscription. But what I say to the contractors is simple. Thank you for joining Hire It Done. I'm excited to do business with you. You have one responsibility now. And the contractor looks at me, what, Adam? What's that responsibility? I want you, Mr. Contractor, to make the homeowners brag about you. That's it. If they're bragging about you, you did your job. Is that hard to do? Certainly not easy, especially when we have homeowners that are they have expectations that are outrageous. A good contractor will set expectations. But the other problem is, or the other solution is, we want contractors that are solution-minded. It's true. I got a great show lined up for you folks. I want to talk about this house that's selling for $800,000 and it's burned out. A house that's burned out for $800,000? You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. This is the Hire It Done Radio Network. My name's Adam Helfman. Fire-ravaged Silicon Valley house on the market for a cool $800,000. Think about that. Selling a house that's burned out, but I'm selling it for $800,000, right? But this is a 2-year-old house. A house suffered major fire damage 2 years ago. It's on the market today for $800,000. That's in San Jose, California. But the listing has already attracted criticism online, which appear to be a clear example of Silicon Valley's overheated real estate market, right? But here's what the realtor behind the sale defended the asking price, telling local media that the area and the land itself warrants it. And this house is dilapidated and boarded up. It's interesting. But here's the thing. Okay, so if you're a homeowner, you got to buy this house. Now, the question I'm going to ask you is the house fixable or do you bulldoze it and start over? Because I can argue both ways, right? But here's the thing, okay? If you bulldoze and start over, you hit the reset button, you're starting from scratch. That seems to be pretty good and the right way to do it. However, what are the repercussions of that? Well, typically the city and the tax man, when you bulldoze a piece of property and you start fresh, they get to hit the reset button on the taxes, which means you have to pay the highest tax rate for that property or the most current tax rate. Okay? Think about it. So if the house was old and it had an old tax bracket and it was not allowed to raise taxes every year as much as it could, you're now paying a brand new tax bracket, which is at the highest level. That's the caveat when you bulldoze and start fresh. The good thing is you can build anything you want, right? Within reason. You can build your dream house. Now, renovating that existing burned out house has the advantage of staying at the tax rate that it was previously at, which is always going to be lower than the newest rate. Rarely is it higher. However, you have to deal with a burned out house. Now, a smart renovation contractor, a smart architect, and a savvy homeowner could renovate that burned out house and truly make it into their dream home as well. It just takes creative thinking. It takes some smart remodeling. But I've done it a million times. Not hard at all. Absolutely not hard at all, folks. So I want you to know that there are two ways to do it. But, listen, it's always preference to the home buyer. But I'm a contractor. I'm a renovation guy. I would rather improve than move. We used to have that slogan, don't move, improve, right? And by the way, it's a seller's market right now. So if you're a seller, you're in charge. There's a shortage of housing. That's why it's fueling the renovation market, because people are like, oh, man, I'm not going to move. There's nothing to buy. I'm going to fix my house up. I'm going to add a room addition. I'm going to build a second story. And that's the thing. When you go to these stores, folks, the home improvement stores, big box stores, they actually rate the customer experiences, which is kind of neat. And so I wanted to share a little bit of information. It's a tie. Ace Hardware and Dollar Tree. They tied for the top spot in the retail industry with an 82% customer experience score, which means the customers are happy. Anything above 70% is pretty good, right? Overall, the home improvement industry retail stores ranked or averaged 74% rating, which is not bad. But it's third place out of 20 industries. So here's the thing. Ace Hardware came at the top with 82%. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. You do get a good experience at Ace. And by the way, not all do-it-yourselfers go to Ace, for everyone out there. And if you're an Ace Hardware owner, you should know this. Next 10 people that come into your store, ask them, how much do you do yourself and how much do you hire it done? I mean, I go to Ace Hardware. I buy light bulbs. I buy lithium batteries. I buy my spritzer for the hose. The spritzer, you know. By the way, do those hoses, I'm going to do a test. You know those hoses that like crinkle up, that look all shrivelly, and then when you turn the water on, they expand and thicken and harden and get long? You know, the spritzing hoses. I didn't mean to say it that way. You know what I mean, folks. Anyways, my point is, hey now. So, but that's the thing. I don't do anything myself. I'll go there and get these batteries, or I'll get bulbs. And by the way, I'm going to talk about bulbs in a minute, because people are asking me, you know, Adam, I've got these regular incandescent bulbs, and I want to go with compact fluorescent, CFL, but what about the mercury? Well, guess what? You can skip right over, go right to LED, and we're going to ask that. But here's the thing I just want to give you. Menards had a 79%. True Value is 78%, and Home Depot was 77%. Ooh, Lowe's was down to 74%. It's interesting. Lowe's is this is a good store. But here's the thing. Okay, so you're going to the hardware store, folks, or you're going to the big box, or wherever you're going to go, and you want to upgrade your bulbs, because everyone's saying, oh, no, they're not going to make incandescent bulbs anymore. It's okay. The technology and the evolution of bulbs has gotten better. Now, originally, it was incandescent, and then you went to compact fluorescent, and everyone's like, oh, fluorescent bulbs, you know, they're dangerous. The different light, they make me have seizures. My eyes roll back. Well, they've figured it out, and they've put coatings on the lenses or on the glass, and it's made the bulb more look like a light. Now, people are like, oh, but there's mercury in them. The mercury is so small, you don't have to worry about it. And I've always said that. But now there's a new bulb, LED, okay? Light-emitting diode. And originally the LED bulbs were expensive because they didn't have mass production. But they also were designed to last 50 years. It's like the last bulb you ever buy. So let's talk about the pros and cons of LED bulbs. And it's important that you understand this, because it's not for everyone, but there's some tricks and some tips I'm going to give you so that when you are buying them, you don't have to worry about if you're going to dimmer switch and humming and making noises, or it's not working right, or it's too bright, or it's the wrong color, or the wrong temperature, as we call it. Those are things we have to learn, and those are things that we have to do. But here's one of the best things about LED bulbs, light-emitting diodes. They're very, very energy efficient, and they last a long time, okay? So here's the comparison. You have an incandescent bulb with 60-watt bulb, right? A 60-watt bulb is 60 watts of energy, but it gives off X amount of light. To give the same light as a 60-watt bulb from an LED bulb, you only need 3 watts. Think about that for a second, folks, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, but think about the reduction in energy costs that you have. It takes less energy to illuminate small LEDs, which means lower energy consumption, reduced energy bills, and better for the environment. Better for the environment. For all my green friends out there, this is important. We have to reduce our waste. That I can tell you. I'm all about reducing waste. You can recycle LED bulbs. That's the best part. The bulbs themselves last a lot longer than the filament in the older incandescent bulbs, with some products claiming a lifespan of more than 10 years or anywhere from 10,000 to 50,000 hours of use. That's a long, long time. Think about that. All right, folks, we're going to continue with the LED bulbs, the pros and cons, when we come back. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network. Welcome back, folks. This is the Hire It Done Radio Network. My name's Adam Helfman. It's the weekend. LED light bulbs. What are the pros and cons? Well, you know, the pros are they're energy efficient. They're long-lasting. They look like normal bulbs. They now have made them to look just like normal bulbs. And modern LED bulbs continue to evolve with shapes, finishes. They're complementing of the fixtures while still offering the energy efficiency that is really driving their sales. And some of them even have the old Edison bulbs that are cool. They make LED bulbs that actually mimic that. So they're really, really coming on strong. And I like them, okay? The other thing is, if you're thinking about doing smart home upgrades, LED bulbs are in a lot of those. See, the LED efficiency has enabled shifts in how manufacturers look at other home products as well, which is important. Night lights with tamper-resistant outlets, locator lights with switches and dimmers, under-cabinet lighting. You can do a lot with LEDs because it's so small, the little diode, that it allows you to utilize it in a lot of spaces. And they're super bright. And LEDs are very excellent at directional light. So if you want to spotlight a target, such as countertop beneath the cabinetry or over the mirror in the bathrooms, it's pretty good. And it evolves. Product evolution of LEDs is important because it adapts. It offers omnidirectional lighting as well. And it gives you sometimes a diffuse glow. And that's the thing. You can get LEDs now where the casing around the light, if it's tinted or fused or whatever, it can change the way the light output is, which gives you, like, sometimes when you're getting dressed, you want a certain light. Sometimes when you're in the shower, you want a better light. So there's different brightnesses you can have, just like wattage bulbs for LEDs, which is important. So what are some of the cons of LED? What are the negatives? This is important, folks. This is good information. They're not always dimmer compatible. So think about this. You've got a house with recessed lights and you can dim them, right? They're halogen. You buy, I'm going to go and save energy now. I'm going to put LED bulbs. Well, guess what? You go buy LED bulbs, you put them in, and next thing you know, you hear this humming noise. Bzzz. You hear a buzzing, a humming, a buzzing, whatever. You've got to match that. That's the difference. Even when paying a premium for LEDs that claim to be dimmer compatible, because you can look at it, dimmer compatible, right? You may experience mild flickering, okay? And from time to time, those LED bulbs are no good, regardless if the light is dimmed or turned up to maximum brightness. Manufacturers like Lutron, they have the solution for that, so you need to make sure. But here's the thing. What causes LEDs to flicker and strobe? It's the incompatibility between the dimmer switch and the transformer, because the transformer needs a constant voltage. And if it fluctuates, because the dimmer lowers the voltage. It makes it flutter. Now, what else? LEDs have what they call the blue light from the spectrum. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv. Roy G. Biv is part of Hire It Done. He's a contractor, right? Roberto, you've interviewed Roy G. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing: the blue light, one on the cooler end of the LED spectrum. So Roy G. Biv, B-I-V, blue, indigo, violet. That's on the right side. That's what they're talking about. It's categorically more similar to natural midday sunlight, which a lot of homeowners prefer, right? Although lighting experts suggest that the cooler shades work better in kitchen and bathroom lighting, but not in bedrooms or living spaces. So that's where you got to make sure. Now you have to know which light bulb to use. Used to be simple. Here, I got a 60 watt, 100 watt. Now you need to know this one's good for lighting in the bathroom. This one's good for kitchens, for cooking. But in the bedroom, it's too bright. What do you think, Roberto?
The ones that I really like now are like the hue ones, or those like the Philips ones where you can change the pink, purple, green, and the automatic. You can use your phone to change the colors.
There's an app, yeah. So it's modern. Those are modern disco bulbs.
Love them.
Right? So here's the thing. The blue lights on an LED have been linked to health issues, right? Including sleep deprivation. See, the wavelengths that are produced by the blue LED lights can be found in smartphones, televisions, and bulbs we use in our night lights and beside a bed lamp. So that's the thing. Think about that for a second. You know, they say, oh, don't use your phone at night. The light makes you stay up. You're right. And they can change your smartphone. It takes the blue out of it. And now here's the other thing. They wear down over time. LED bulbs depreciate in brightness. While manufacturers claim that LEDs are functional for 10,000 plus hours, it's not uncommon for the bulb circuitry to overheat depending on where the bulb is situated. That's true. There's a lot of heat. They give off some heat, these little bulbs. How many hours is 10,000 hours? Think about this. So let's say you have a bulb that's on for 3 hours a night. That's a long time, 3 hours to have a bulb on. So 3 hours a night times 365. Let's do some math here, folks, right? So I'm going to do my math here. So 3 hours a day times 3 times 365 days a year is 1,095 hours a year. So times 10 is 10,000 hours. Okay, so 10 years. So these bulbs are 10-year life if they say 10,000 hours. I've heard them say 50,000 hours in some LED bulbs. So overheating too. And the general age of the bulb from everyday use can contribute to the inner workings burning out ahead of the 10,000 hour mark. So do your bulbs overheat? I don't know. Anyways, the verdict is this, folks. LED is the way to go. Be smart when you're buying your bulbs. You go to a local hardware store, they can help you, right? But, spend a few minutes and look. And then, if you go to the big box store, you can get bulk mounted. You can buy 10 at a time or whatever. But the benefit is if you change every light in your house to LED, seriously, your electric bill will go down because it is that dramatic of a reduction. So you'll spend a little more on the bulbs, but your payback will be within the year. You can count on that. National Association of Home Builders, NAHB, in which Hire It Done is a proud member of, the Remodelers Council. It shows steady gains in construction employment, but levels still remain below peak. So what does that mean? Well, the number one complaint that my contractors have this year is labor. Adam, I could take more work, but I can't find good help. I need more help. I need more help. I need good guys. For everyone out there in Hire It Done land, whatever part of the country in, I'm sure that you're suffering from the same dilemma, shortage of labor. A new construction employment analysis from the NAHB, National Association of Home Builders, shows that 9.8 million people worked in construction in 2016, and more than 3.8 million of them worked in residential construction. These numbers reflect modest but steady gains since 2011, when construction employment bottomed out. But here's the thing. People left the industry. And you remember in high school they had SEALVEC or vocational school? They don't have that no more because the kids don't want to work. But guess what? Let me say this. and this is important for everyone listening. If you have a child or know somebody that's crafty with their hands and they're not made for college, they have an advantage now because they can go into the trades. You can become a plumber and make $150,000 a year. You can start out making $60,000, $70,000. Think about that for a second, folks. That's $1,200 a week. You want to be an electrician? Same thing. My electricians at Hire It Done and my plumbers on Hire It Done, they make a great living. They work their butts off. Don't get me wrong. They have several employees, and they could grow their business because homeowners are in the need for a good electrician. They're in the need for a good plumber. Heating, cooling. You want to get in the furnace installation business, folks? You can make a great living. Get your children in these schools. If they're not going to U of M, they're not going to MSU, they're not going to, Ivy League schools or any college. Doesn't matter. Becoming a professional heating, cooling contractor, a professional plumber, professional electrician, insulation, painter, roofer, handyman. There's so many things. Every trade is hiring, and every profession that I just mentioned with good quality hard work and ethics, you can make $100,000 a year. Legit, dude. Legit. Residential construction workers are topped out in California. 500,000 residents worked in home building in 2016. So California has the most residential stuff going on. Pretty interesting. Florida is coming in second with 360,000 residential construction workers. Let me say this. I mean this. If you have a child, you have a friend, a cousin that wants to get into the trades, have them visit hireitdone.com. Send their resume to me. I'll get them a job. We'll find them with a good quality contractor. Because that's important, folks. You're listening to the Hire It Done Radio Network, my friends. We'll be right back. I'm Adam Helfman. Welcome back, folks. This is Hire It Done. It's the weekend. My name's Adam Helfman. Great show. It's time for the mailbag. If you ever have a question for me, just go to hireitdone.com, click on Ask Adam. Contact Adam. It's on the bottom of the page. And send me your question. I'll respond via email. Takes me a few days, but we may use it on the show. You never know. Dear Adam, I want to open my kitchen to my dining room. How do I know if I can safely remove the wall? Think about that. So, like I said earlier, dining rooms are out. It's time to blow that wall out between the kitchen and the dining room. Make an expanded kitchen. Make it a breakfast nook. And the wall that's between the kitchen and dining room typically isn't load-bearing. However, you might have to put a microlam or a LVL, which is the name of a beam. But here's the thing. What is that wall doing? Well, usually that wall has an oven on it. So maybe there's a gas line in there. Maybe there's a 220. Maybe there's heating and cooling going up the wall to the second floor if there's a floor above you. Maybe there's a return air in there. Maybe there's water going down the wall or a stack from another plumbing item. Those are items that you don't have x-ray vision so you can't see. But a competent contractor will know. He'll know what to look for. He'll know to go in your basement, look above. He'll know above, ask you what's above there. A lot of times kitchens have soffits. In the soffits are drain lines from the tub above or the sinks and everything above. So you got to be really careful. An inexperienced contractor will not tell you that. He may know it, but not say anything because he knows, oh, Mrs. Jones, I got to hire a plumber now and replace all this plumbing, and it's going to be an extra. You got to be careful. So, yes, you can safely remove the wall, but you got to be smart and use the right contractor. That's why I recommend you hire that done for sure. Here's another question. My laminate flooring is not level, Adam. Can that be fixed? So laminate flooring was really, really popular, and it's evolved. Luxury vinyl tile is the new laminate flooring that people like. But it's snap and click, right? So if it's not level, can you take it apart and level the floor? Yeah. There's liquid leveling. There's floor leveling compound. There's other ways you can take a cedar shims. You can level the floor that way. But again, it depends on how bad it is. But the thing is whoever installed it originally should have leveled the floor. Who's the contractor? Did you do it yourself? Okay, I get it. Now it's not level. But did you hire a pro? Then, of course, you got to make sure that it's level. A professional should have done it right. Hey, Adam, I'm thinking about getting a new roof. Had some estimates. Should the roofer go in the attic when he's giving me an estimate? It's a good question. Think about it, folks. When bringing a roofer to your house, a couple things. Obviously, you want to pick the right shingle. But why would he want to go in your attic? What does your attic have to do with your roof? Well, let me simplify it for you. Your house is a system, right? The roof is the biggest part of your house. And in order for your roof to last, it has to breathe. Think about that. It has to repel the elements, but it has to breathe. Breathing in your roof means that the intake, the soffit vent, okay, that's the intake, needs to be clear. And then air goes up into the soffit, into the attic. Then that air must travel in the attic and then up out the top, whether it's on the ridge or a roof vent, okay? That needs to be unobstructed. So those are the items right there. Now, what else? So you've got intake for your roof and exhaust for your roof. Those two items are crucial for a proper roof. What else is there? Insulation. You want the temperature of the roof on the outside to be very close to the temperature of the roof on the back side of it in your attic. You want those temperatures to be very, very close. If you don't have the proper insulation in your attic, so when the cold weather comes, you heat your house. The heat rises and travels into your attic, which then heats up your attic, which then heats up the other side of the roof. And when you have snow, that melts it. And then it could create ice damming. So you need to stop the heat loss. That's why you have insulation. But if it's not ventilating properly, then all of a sudden the temperature in your attic goes wacko. So to answer the question, do I need the roofer to go in my attic? Absolutely. And if the roofer doesn't go in your attic, now remember, all he has to do is go to your access, stick his head up there and look and see what's there, because he will prescribe the ventilation as part of the roof price. But my point is, if he doesn't go in your attic and tries to give you a price, don't buy it from him. Kick him out of the house. Tell him to leave. You don't want that headache. Okay? And that reminds me of getting a roof shouldn't be a struggle. Most homeowners today want a roof that doesn't leak, right? I simplify it, but it's the truth. If you want a roof that doesn't leak, you need to get a roofer that knows what they're doing. Now, if a roofer comes to your house, every one of them is going to tell you, Mrs. Jones, I'm an expert. I'm the best roofer around. How do you know? What makes a good roofer a good roofer? That he does a lot of roofs? That he's the cheapest? What is it? What is it about a roofer that makes him great? I'm going to tell you, folks, a couple things, okay? A roofer that's solution-minded. A roofer that is certified by one of the major manufacturers. So what's a manufacturer? The company that makes the shingles. Certainteed. Owens Corning. You know, the Pink Panther. GAF. You heard of those? Tamco. Malarkey shingles. There's a lot of shingles out there, folks. But the companies that take pride in training their roofing companies into making sure that they're certified, that's important. And what does the certification mean? Oh, I've spent a lot of money, I paid for it? No, it's education. So to become a GAF Master Elite roofer, think about that. GAF Master Elite, what does that mean? That means that this roofer has met or exceeded the requirements that GAF has on implying or installing their shingle to give you the warranty you need. Most hired done contractors will give you a 50-year warranty without even thinking about it. So think about that for a second. That's why you want to go to Hired Done. Because, listen, most homeowners get 2, 3 bids, 4 bids, right? If you're going to get 7 or 8 bids, don't come to my website. We're not a match. If you're serious about a roof, you're serious about one that doesn't leak, and you want it done by guys who are all certified by the manufacturers, then Hired Done's for you. We're a match for you because you're going to get the guaranteed best roof. I personally guarantee it. You can't go wrong. And that's what makes us better. That's what makes us different. We're not a match for everyone, and I'm okay with that. If you want the lowest price, don't come to me. Hired Done contractors are never the lowest. But here's the best part about that. They're never the highest. Don't you want a contractor that's usually right in the middle? And that's what we do. We level the playing field. Let them compete for your business. Simple. I want to keep things simple. My pre-screened contractors compete for your business. You've heard of Lending Tree. Similar. Let the banks compete for your loan. Let the contractors compete for your roof. Anything like that. That's why it's important. But again, we have a 10-point pre-screening at Hire It Done. Just visit hireitdone.com. You can click on it and you can find out what our 10-point pre-screening is. You can watch our videos. YouTube. You've been to YouTube? Just type in Hire It Done. We've got over 100 videos on every product you can think of, on how to get it done right, questions to ask. And of course, you can always have me. Remember, Hire It Done's 3 tiers. There's the website, okay? There's the radio show, national radio show, and then there's me, Adam Helfman. I'm an expert in the business. No one has that combination. It's a triple threat. The triple threat. I love that. Yeah. So we have 3 components that helps you get a hassle-free home improvement. If you're thinking of remodeling your house, you have a problem, folks, you should use me. I would think, why wouldn't you? It's free. If you're a homeowner, it's a free service. Isn't that what is the favorite word? Free? The contractors pay Hire It Done. In order to pay Hire It Done, you have to pass our pre-screening. So once they pass that, then they get into the ability to compete for your business. You, the homeowner, don't have to worry about paying anything. You just pay the contractor directly. We just refer you 3 or 4 contractors that have passed our pre-screening. Hiring them is up to you. You can hire my contractor or you don't have to. But I'll tell you what, if you want a roof, call some roofer from TV that advertises every 2 seconds. And then call Hire It Done. Go visit hireitdone.com. Guess what happens? You win every time. Homeowners win. And one of the components of our pre-screening or our code of ethics that they have to sign is they're not allowed to do high-pressure sales. None of this BS with the high-pressure sales malarkey. Right, folks? Mrs. Jones, it's $39,000 for your roof. Oh, okay, that's a little high, Mr. Salesman. Well, I'll tell you what, Mrs. Jones, if I can get you a discount, would you be interested in signing tonight? Yeah, I want to know the discount before I know. Well, let me go outside to my car and call my manager and see if there's anything we can do. You know what? If a contractor tells you he wants to go outside and contract his manager, when you tell him, you know what, please call. Tell him to go outside, okay? And once he goes outside, lock him out. Don't let him back in your house. Because there's no phone call to a manager. That's what I call fuzzy math. That ain't happening. I'll tell you that right now. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening. If you want great advice, just visit hireitdone.com. Go to Facebook, YouTube. Find us on all social media. Because that's how we are, folks. I'm Adam Helfman. It's the perfect weekend to Hire It Done. I'll see you next week.